The Toronto International Film Festival is underway, and while the festival looks a little different this year because of the strikes in Hollywood, it is still the best spot to see new films from local and international talent before anybody else sees them. So here with a preview of the Canadian films to watch for is our film critic, Rad. Hey, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Okay, we are starting with two films that have already screened at Cannes, and now they're coming to TIFF. What should we know about The Nature of Love and In Flames?
Yeah, so Nature of Love, it's the French title, Simple comme ça va. I don't know why they translated it to Nature of Love. Makes no sense. Really funny, really sexy rom-com directed by Monia Chokri as a woman that's kind of just fed up with all the men in her life and looking for more. So that's definitely one to check out. Also, In Flames. In Flames is directed by, it's the first feature by Zarar Khan. Really incredible horror thriller about a young Pakistani girl who is basically like, you know, haunted by this traumatizing violent event from her past, and she's basically she's navigating Pakistan and have the kind of suffocating misogyny that's just kind of hanging thick in the air and still fighting for joy. So those are definitely two of the best Canadian films to check out at TIFF.
Rad, I so appreciate when you come to help us guide, because there's a lot of films at TIFF.
Yeah.
This next one, okay, let's start with the title. Humanist vampire seeking consenting suicidal person. What is that movie about?
Just give the title a prize, right? It's wow. Look, it is a funny, dark, sweet, twisted vampire coming of age story, okay? Like it's another first-time filmmaker, Ariane Louis-Size, made this comedy about a young bloodsucker vampire girl who has too much empathy for humans, so she doesn't want to feed off humans, but then she finds a suicidal young man who figures, you know what, why not make my life worth something by offering it up to help this vampire survive? The thing is, by that gesture, they forge a connection. Well, no. Well, initially he just wants to be feed, but then when they forge a connection, he's like, yeah, but now I've renewed my will to live. So yeah, it's again, like, it's really funny and sweet, and it's kind of like Ariane Louis-Size. She finds a way. She makes this movie something between Let the Right One In, which is that really chilling coming of age horror movie, and Wednesday. Like as fun as Wednesday. So it's definitely the one to check out.
Okay, tell me about I Don't Know Who You Are.
I Don't Know Who You Are. Really heavy movie, actually. So it's another first-time feature filmmaker, M.H. Murray. He made a film starring Toronto musician Mark Clennon. He plays a sexual assault survivor who is trying to navigate the city. He's scrambling through the city to trying to find what the money he needs to buy a medication that'll help prevent an HIV infection within a limited amount of time.
Wow.
And so this is a movie. It's a really tough movie where he's kind of hitting up different friends from different corners of Toronto, different corners socially, economically. It's a movie that is about the ways we see certain people who are struggling. It's a movie that's shedding light on the struggles we don't see. It's a movie that is that is ultimately taking this really tough situation, but searching the city for hope, searching the different corners of the city for hope, and mapping out how tough, but also how joyful the city could be. So
and the movie again is called I Don't Know
Who You Are. Really, like, definitely a must-see if you're navigating the Canadian film scene at TIFF.
It sounds like it. Seagrass is another film you're going to tell us about. It's a couple attending a therapy retreat with their kids.
Yeah. So basically, it's made by a BC filmmaker named Meredith Hama Brown. It's kind of partially inspired by her own family. You know, it's about an interracial couple, Japanese Canadian woman, Caucasian man. They take their kids to this retreat where they get to attend couples therapy. And what's really interesting is, like, it's navigating the rifts, it's navigating the way in this relationship people kind of just poke at the wounds, at each other's wounds, and sometimes don't know how to heal. And what's really interesting is, you think about interracial couples in movies, they always present interracial couples as this kind of utopian ideal, right? Like, we got racism figured out. Not really, right? Because sometimes that pigment gap does create certain rifts. This is,
pigment gap.
The rifts are there. And then, so this is what, I mean, when you look at this couple, it's really kind of fascinating how she hones in on how this Japanese Canadian woman who was raised maybe whitewashed, to put it in crudest terms, but basically with a certain amount of self-hate, she's feeling disconnected from her culture, and now that's weighing on her, and she projects some of that onto her husband, and he doesn't know how to handle that baggage. So feeling out the relationship there, I think this movie really does an incredible job of that.
Oh, I like that a lot. Finally, you loved Solo. That's a film about Montreal's drag scene. Why should we see this one?
Because it's like Magic Mike on the drag scene, basically. Like, it's a lot of fun, but also really harrowing. You know, it stars one of Canada's hottest actors, Theodore Pellerin, like really talented young man who plays a drag performer who is navigating his family, navigating, of course, the drag scene, navigating his own like memories and the kind of trauma he carries from that, and navigating a new romantic relationship. So, you know, really, it's a character study. I don't want to tell you too much about it, but like, you know, it's basically just brimming with so much Canadian talent. Sophie Dupuis is one of the like, most promising filmmakers in Canada. And so, yeah, just to make sure you put that on your list.
Yeah, it looks like a beautifully shot film as well. Hey, Rad, good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
And a reminder that TIFF runs through until September 17th. Good luck to you. I know I'm not going to see you for the next 2 weeks.
I mean, I'm going to be a zombie. I'm going to be a humanist vampire seeking, you know, at the seeking films at TIFF.
Thanks, Rad.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.